What is going on, everybody? Kamusta kayo lahat mula sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, or wherever the heck you are on the planet? This is your one and only Jake of all trades, the place to be for any niche, every genre, and all generations. I am your master of ceremony, D to the E to the LRO, aka JDR, aka the extraordinary introvert. So, guys, I'm sure malapit na yung Pasko, so I'm sure y'all are feeling the Christmas rush, and I'm sure a lot of us are not really feeling the Christmas vibe at all. I'm sure some of you guys are watching are like, oh, di ko pa feel yung Christmas, nasa bahay lang tayo, we don't know what we're gonna do come December 25th. And I get that, I totally understand where y'all are coming from, because it is hard, Can you guys believe it? We're finally here in the last month of the year, and a very long and extraordinary year to say the least. So I'm sure may hirapan kayong lahat to feel the Christmas vibe. But, now that we're winding down in this year, let's do ourselves a favor and at least try to show a festive vibe or a festive spirit. It doesn't have to be extravagant naman, but, let's just try to be happy. Of all the things 2020 has taken away from us, it can't take away Christmas, 2020 ain't enough to cancel Christmas. So let's try to feel the vibe. Let's try to just be happy, and let's just be nice to one another in the remaining days of 2020. All right. So, here's one way to get you all going for the Christmas spirit. So I'm sure, ngayon na Pasko, I'm sure y'all are prepping the gifts, y'all are prepping the menus. I'm sure nahihirapan na kayo figuring out what am I gonna have for Noche Buena, what am I gonna have for Medianoche, what am I gonna have for all the days of Christmas, for all the holidays of us eating and eating. Well, don't worry about it, guys, because even though I'm no expert in culinary, I love food just like the rest of y'all. And today we have the opportunity to chat to one of the rising stars in the culinary industry. So this guy right here, he's an aspiring chef. I'm sure he's gonna serve us a lot of recipes, a lot of menus. So I highly suggest, whatever time it is right now, in your area, whether you guys are watching in the morning and afternoon or at nighttime, I suggest you eat your breakfast first. I suggest you have lunch or dinner or just any sort of snack, whatever that is, just to make sure you guys don't feel hungry while watching this episode. So, now that we got all that TSAs out of the way, let's introduce and let's give it up for this guest, who is one of the best, certainly one of the aspiring chefs. But I'm sure he's gonna go up the ranks anytime, or he's gonna go up there sooner rather than later. So let's give it up for Chef Emilio Dario, everybody.
Hey guys, thanks Jake first of all for having me. It's been a tough year, pero let's finish strong, no. It's especially during the holidays. I feel like most of us turn to food to put a smile on our faces. Let's finish the year strong. So
absolutely.
But tiwala lang. It's a tough year, pero life goes on.
Absolutely. And yeah, I love that remark. Food is the best medicine, guys. So, anytime you're feeling down, every time you're feeling, a little bit sad or whatever, kung nalulungkot kayo, kumain kayo. Like anything you like, forget.
Kahit di siya healthy, kahit di siya, as in, okay.
Yeah, forget the diet,
Forget the diet.
Diet.
It's one of the things. It's one of my sayings now. Christmas calories don't really count, so just eat.
Exactly. May January pa yan, to burn all that. But we're looking too far ahead of ourselves.
Before, the entire month, kain lang kayo.
For sure. And guys, since I mentioned Dario, this is the third Dario Sib in the show. So once again, I know pangilang shoutout mo na to, but again, major shoutout to Gabby D for making this happen. I'm sure sobrang nasisingil ka na sa akin because I did ask your other brother, si Diego, to come on the show, and of course I asked Chef E to come on over. So I'm sure Gabby's been
family thing.
Gabby's been busy, trying to help me out. But look at the results. I mean, we got three of the best Dario Sibs out here. One is a teacher, one is a basketball player, and this one over here is a chef. So, how talented can you guys get right there?
We're all doing our own thing.
Exactly. And of course, how can you not give your mama a shout out? Shout out to Mama Dario for raising you guys to be the persons that you are right now. Like whatever field, whatever niche you guys are on. You
She's been
guys are
very
just killing it.
supportive.
Yep. You
Yeah.
guys are just killing it out there. So yeah, major props to your mom for holding it down for the Daria fam. Yeah. So I guess that I've said a lot of things. It's your turn. So go ahead, introduce yourself. Take it away. So tell me about you, what you do for a live, or what you're gonna do for a live, what you plan to do for a living, and I guess what got you into this background of culinary or just cooking in general.
Um, Looking back now, I've always been a fan of food. Believe it or not, cooking wasn't really my original plan when it comes to like the things I'm gonna do for a living. I originally planned to follow my brother's footsteps and become a basketball player.
Oh wow,
So for
really?
the most part, so for the first part of for the most part of my childhood, I would train early mornings. I would join varsity teams. I would play for my schools. But then at the same time, on the side, I was always interested in baking. I was always interested in what's happening inside the kitchen. But I was always in the back burner. Like the main focus lang talaga noon was I wanted to become a basketball player kasi that's what I grew up with. I saw my brother work, and then I saw my dad train with him, and I wanted to do the same. But then came a time it was time to enter high school. It was a transitioning point in my life. And then since I was still on the facts na parang I want to follow my brother, I decided to try out for UP, for the UPIS, the high school team.
Oh,
But then I didn't get in. I didn't get in. Like when I was in the training, it was a reality check for me na parang I'm really not as good as the other players out there. Na parang it wasn't I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough for even the team B or anything like that. So, syempre nung I got rejected, parang I had to stop and think na parang ops, teka lang, high school na. I mean, I know na high school some people aren't really decided with what they're gonna do with life na. Pero ako, for some reason, I wanted to find my purpose early on, and I guess that's how we were raised naman. So parang I had to stop and think na parang okay, what's the next best thing? What's the next best thing that I'm good at, that I'm interested in? And it came to food. Like it boiled down to food. And I remember noon, there's a picture pang online somewhere, pero there's this one dinner na pinicturean kami ng mom ko. I was helping my older brother, si Papu. He's a guitarist. He was the one running the kitchen back before. He was the one involved in preparing dinner. He would constantly prepare like family recipes, and I would always check in on what he's doing. And then there was this one night I asked him, can I help? Can I help with something ba? Kasi he was prepping. He was slicing like potatoes, I think. Tapos I remember attempting to slice the potato, and it was like so uneven. Na parang my knife was slanted. I almost cut myself. But then that point was like a turning point kasi parang I knew I had so much to improve on. Na parang okay, I enjoyed what was happening. I enjoyed what I was doing. Tapos so I made it the point na kapag nagluluto ng breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I always wanted to be inside the kitchen. I wanted to see what was happening. I wanted to pick up on things. And eventually I kicked my older brother out of the kitchen. I as in parang I wanted whenever he wanted to help, I was like, no, let me be. I'll do everything by myself. It's okay. Parang I mean I'm sure he would be on the watch out, but then he eventually let me be, and I feel like that was a very important part when it came to like deciding that this was what my passion was. Like my teacher may watch out ako, pero I felt confident enough as I started to cook. Kasi with the whole cooking, people ask me like, oh, how did you become so good at cooking? How did you develop your skills? And what I always answer is like, it's as with a lot of things, it's really with repetitiveness. Like the more you do it, the more you get better talaga. Like yeah, you make mistakes. Like with me, masyado maalat, masyado this, masyado that. Ay parang, ano ba, like hindi maayos yung pagkaluto. But then it's with those mistakes that you really learn. And with cooking kasi, I mean, yeah, parang puhunin mo yung katawan mo. Pero with cooking, the more you do it, the more, so kahit super tanda ka na, like the best chefs in the world right now are actually like what, 60, 70 years old and they're still up and about. Kasi even at that age, they're learning something new every day. It's a constant learning process when it comes to the culinary arts.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So wow, that's basically, you know, to cut it short, that was a lot to digest. But basically, Emilio's cooking journey started over an unevenly cut potato wedge.
Yes.
Yep. Pretty much the gist right there. But yo, that's crazy. Crazy how you were so close to being another basketball player in the Dario clan.
Yeah. I mean, I love the sport, but then
Yeah.
it's really not for me.
Same. Yeah, I'm a huge fan, but I know deep down I'm too overweight not to make it or to make it.
Being a fan is enough for me.
Yeah. Wow. So I guess, you know, your experiences in the kitchen, like at a young age, were these like the moments that made you realize, hey, this could be for me. I think I can do this long term. Hindi lang siya parang hobby or it's just me helping out with the chores. You really saw cooking as like your go-to thing.
As like an escape. I saw it as an escape scenario. There would be problems at home or at school, or I would be feeling sad. I found myself turning to cooking kasi whenever I'm cooking, I zone out completely. I'm in my safe space, and when I realized that, I was like, okay, sige, this is more than just a hobby. I can actually pursue this.
Yeah, totally gets. And yeah, so far, like, I guess I have to give you, you know, a lot of credit already for first of all doing what you love doing, and you know, staying committed to it. You know, just like your sister and just like your brother, you know, hindi lang siya yung tipong I'll do it just to go through the motions or just because I enjoy it lang. Of course, you have to enjoy, but to stay committed, like enjoying is one thing or having fun is one thing, but staying committed to it long term, that's a whole nother ball game right there. And to see not just you,
you're gonna go through a lot. You're gonna go through a lot.
Oh yeah. And this doesn't just reflect on you, but really just not just the Dario siblings, but to everyone I've had so far on the show. Like every single field that they're pursuing, like the amount of commitment, the amount of effort, and the high work ethic that these people put. Like super respect the grind to everyone who's been here so far. So yeah, Chef Emilio is no different. So let's talk about your cooking journey now. So I guess, what were some of the challenges that you had to face early on? Like, what were some of those moments that made you realize, did I enter the right field, or was my cooking success, you know, quote unquote, was it like a fluke or something like that?
Mm-hmm. I guess a big point was because I didn't go to college. I didn't enter university. I went straight to culinary school right out of senior high school.
Wow.
And that was a big decision. Kasi when you enter a like culinary school, basically you're all in at that point. Na parang if you don't succeed there, like where do you turn? Not unlike when you go to college, you get to branch out, you get to weigh out your options. You're exposed to a lot of options. Pero when you're in culinary school, yun na yung decision ko. And it was a challenge for me noon was when I was starting out with the first couple of modules in culinary school. I was doubting myself kasi parang I got tired a lot kasi the movement inside the kitchen was hot. I was standing all the time. Voices were very loud. Like I got caught a couple of times. Tapos parang am I too clumsy for this? Am Am I too, kasi syempre cleanliness din is a challenge. And uh, growing up, actually until now naman, ang challenge ko, pinagsasabihin ako yan nila Ate Gab, na parang, oh, ang dumi mo, parang, ang kalat mo, especially kapag niluluto. Parang, so that was one of my challenges. Na, is this really for me? Na parang, yeah, I can cook, pero are my other aspects when it comes to doing what's necessary? Parang, is it there? Parang, tapos, I pushed through it. Like, if there's anything I've learned from my siblings, from my parents, na if you go through challenges, you shouldn't really give up if gusto mo yung ginagawa mo. Like, you find a way through it. And eventually naman, when I stuck through the whole culinary school, I discovered na I actually turned out to be one of the top students in my class.
Wow,
I mean,
galing, galing.
that's not to brag or anything, pero
No, go ahead by all means.
I actually enjoyed it, and the fact ngayon na I'm done with all my culinary classes, I'm pretty set. The course kasi in culinary school was a year, and that 1 year na solidify ko yung parang decision ko na, okay, this is what I want to do. Kasi I enjoyed, like, super nakakapagod, pero it's the kind of tiredness na parang you don't mind kasi you enjoy it naman. Parang ganun.
Yeah, totally get where you're coming from. But yeah, it's pretty good stuff, to say the least. And actually, it's a perfect segue because I was gonna ask, if you had challenges, you certainly had a lot of success. So I guess besides the whole, you were the top of your class, what are some of your other achievements in culinary school, or just your personal journey through cooking, whether it's in the kitchen or the dining table, wherever that may be?
Now, actually, I actually run my own food business.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. I'm a one-man team for my food business. I run a diet meal plan delivery service. I do it all by myself. It's a passion project for me.
Yeah.
It's really going well. Kasi early on in the quarantine, I figured na parang, okay, I just can't stay put. Like, okay, kasi before COVID happened, I was actually supposed to go on my OJT already. Kasi OJT was a part of the program in culinary school. And then COVID happened, so parang I decided na, okay, I can't stay put. Like, I can't put my culinary dreams on hold entirely. So I had to do it. And I looked at the situation, and my brother, as an athlete, syempre, very important yung nutrition sa kanya. And his teammates were like looking for food delivery services then. So he linked me up with a couple of his teammates, and then at first I was really scared. I was really scared kasi parang that's a totally different thing na. You're catering to athletes, professional athletes, na parang puhunan din nila yung kinakain nila. So parang you have other people's careers at stake, at your own hand. So it's pretty scary. But then I did it. Parang my brother told me na just start it kasi you won't, wala ka nang mapapala if magpatigil ka sa takot. Like, start it lang, improve. And I'm glad to see now, na parang it's really going well, na I have like a constant 5-6 clients that I deliver to weekly.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really going well. And with this whole business going well, and I'm proud to say na I'm somewhat financially independent naman na. Like, when it came, especially kasi ako, I mahilig ako sa mga kitchen equipment. Kasi syempre, kitchen equipment helps me get through my jobs easier. And I'm proud to say na parang most of my stuff ako na bumibili. Like, I don't bother my mom Like parang, oh, I want this. Can you buy me this? Parang I'm proud to say na I have my own financial freedom and I get to buy things using my own money. It's more fulfilling that way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I can relate because, some of this podcast equipment that you guys see over here, like, that was with my own money as well. So, yeah, I can totally agree with Emilio na it's very fulfilling. Nakaka-proud talaga to buy your own stuff, whether you want it, whether you need it. Yeah.
Especially when
really
you
good
see it
stuff.
all set up na parang it's there. You see it every day na parang, whoa, okay, I worked hard for that.
Mm-hmm.
Parang it provides that extra push for you to
For sure.
keep going.
For sure.
That makes sense.
Yo, after this episode, you better look me up to that diet menu of yours.
For sure. I'll send you the link after.
Or no, I mean, like what I usually do, I will definitely link that diet plan
Yeah.
in the description, in the thumbnail, so that you guys can start eating healthy. Well, of course, as you mentioned kanina, except it's Christmas, so I'm sure may exception, may mga passes kayo with those diets, but I'm sure, once matapos yun na yung holiday season, we want to get back, balik alindog tayo and all.
Yeah, you want to slim down.
Yep.
Hit me up.
So I'll definitely link down that diet plan of Emilio's, like, the end of this episode and over in the description. So yeah, good stuff. And wow, that must have been a proud moment for you. Like the fact that you're not only providing for your brother but to big time athletes. This is the PBA we're talking about, which is like one of the most prestigious leagues, not just in the Philippines but in Asia. And the fact that you're catering to about 12 to 14 athletes in one team, that's a big deal, man. Like,
it's a big thing. It's scary, but it's a big thing.
Major kudos to you, bro. And I guess, I guess this is like my favorite part of the episode now because you're done talking about your life as a chef and all that. But now this is where the ASMR starts kicking in, guys. So this is where you guys really have to make sure you ate because we will make you hungry. Magugutom talaga kayo. Like with the amount of food, the amount of ingredients we're gonna be talking about. So quick forewarning, guys. Talagang kumain na kayo or dapat nakakain na kayo before listening to this part because I promise you are gonna be salivating over these delicious recipes, these yummy dishes. Yeah. For the last time, kumain na kayo, guys. So I guess before we get down to it, can you give me a quick breakdown? What was that diet? What were some of the supplements? What were some of the dishes you made, not just for Diego, but for some of his teammates? Whether it's the main course, whether it's the appetizer, whether it's the dessert or salad, whatever. Yeah, now's your chance to just show to our audience or just explain, what your diet plan was like.
My diet plan is not like the usual. When you think of diet, when you think of diet, what comes into your mind?
Losing weight?
No, when it comes to the food.
Oh, food. No cholesterol, zero sugar, sugar-free cookies. Wait, I forgot the flavor. Wait, my sister knows this. Keto cookies.
Yeah,
usually
diets. What I do is calorie counting. Kasi at the end of the day, parang the only way to lose weight is to be in a caloric deficit. Caloric deficit meaning you're consuming less calories than your body needs or parang than your body needs. Tapos kapag kulang na yung calories, it gets from your fat storage and then you slim down. So the food I serve, it's like I make sure that my clients feel like they're not on a diet. Kasi I'll read some of my menus out here. Beef gyudon, Japanese curry, pork estofado, chicken satay, chicken shawarma rice bowl. It's pretty good stuff na I make sure na the flavor is packed. It's really tasty. But then at the same time, staying within your caloric limits. Kasi
Yes,
ito,
yes.
this is one of my tools. It's a measuring scale. It's a smart food scale. So I
Mm.
use this to portion, and it's
Wow.
linked to
Wow.
I use it to portion, and then it's linked to an app. It shows me the amount of calories it contains the ingredient I weighed out. So I make sure para masakto ko talaga for my clients na
Yeah, yeah.
they'll lose weight pero they're eating good food.
So it's not a sacrifice naman in terms of
And
quality.
I make sure it isn't a sacrifice talaga.
It's just portion control lang, like to say the least.
Yeah. Basically.
Wow, wow. Yo, I'm gonna need that because I have a huge problem with portion control. There are times I control, but there are most occasions where I get to eat too much.
It's hard. Like, kahit ako nahihirapan. But it helps being subscribed to like a program like mine. Kasi you don't have to do it yourself na. Like, it just
Yeah.
comes to you, naka-portion out na. You just have to eat, basically. You just have
Yeah.
to eat, that's it.
Does it also require some exercising, or are you just strictly on the food side?
Um,
Because diba diet?
It will help. It will help if you exercise.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Kasi when you think of diet,
Pero
it's not
hindi
just
ko
eating
use
lang. Eh. It's also
Yeah.
exercise and other stuff in between.
But at least with me, I handle the food side na. That's one less thing to worry about
Yeah.
to achieve your goals.
That's true.
But then ako, definitely with food, like, you can still lose weight. You can still lose weight as long as you can caloric deficit nga. Pero it will accelerate the process if you do other things alongside it, like exercise, you jog, you do cardio,
Yeah.
stuff like that. You lift weights.
Yep, definitely. So wait, the meals that you were like listing down, like yung gyudon, yung shawarma, were those some of the dishes that you served? Blackwater, which is Diago's team, by the way, guys.
Yeah. I've served some of them to my brothers and other teammates.
Oh wow, that's interesting. It's interesting. Wow. Pretty good stuff, dude. Like the fact that you're
Thanks,
cooking
man.
these, like I can barely make an egg. Like I can barely make a perfect egg. For crying out loud.
It's amazing to look at actually. Now that I step back, now I get to talk about these things. It makes me realize na parang okay, nagawa ko nga pala itong mga to. Kasi sometimes, I don't know, honestly, I forget with the whole pandemic thing. It makes you lose track of the things you've achieved, the things you're grateful for. And me talking about it brings me back down to earth na parang okay, I've achieved things. So it helps. So thanks for the opportunity to talk about it.
Definitely. So yeah, now that we've talked about the diet, I guess let's go a little bit personal in terms of your cooking career. So can you tell me like what were some of the best dishes you made and what were also some of the worst? Because in this podcast you want to be as transparent and as complete as possible. So as much as I want to hide out the bad stuff, we should also include that na rin, just for balance and just for transparency.
It's a transparency thing, yeah.
So you can start with whatever. So what was the best? What were your best dishes, and what were also some of your worst? Not really worst, but I guess what were the recipes that were? What were the recipes that were like not meeting your standards, na lang, for lack of a better term?
I remember before I tried making tempura, like the ebi tempura na Japanese style. Tapos parang I remember what happened nun, parang naging shrimp wrapped in pancake. Parang ganun lang yung nangyari. So, parang gumawa akong corn dog pero shrimp yung nasa loob. Parang ganun yung nangyari. Tapos I parang when I showed my mom na parang ito yung nangyari, like she bought like a lot of shrimps na shrimps aren't cheap at all. Tapos parang nagamit ko most of it, tapos ganun yung kanalabasan. Wow, parang nagulat ako. Tapos my mom was like, oh sige anak, okay lang yan. I mean, Definitely hindi siya okay kasi they had to eat it. Pero parang, I feel like sinabi niyo na lang yun sa akin para hindi bumaba yung moral ko, pero parang deep inside, parang I knew I screwed up. Tapos, I remember kasi na-salvage ko pa parang half of the shrimp she bought. Tapos ginawa niya, sabi niya parang, oh, just make it like garlic buttered shrimp. So it seemed pretty easy. Kasi parang, you just cook garlic in butter and then you put the shrimp in.
Yeah.
Tapos, yun, hindi ko rin nagawa ng maayos. Parang, it came out very clumpy. It came out too garlicky. It came out too salty. Parang, these were the rough beginnings. Parang, ito yung mga, tapos yun, shout out din to my family. Kasi, regardless of how I mess a dish up, wala naman, kailangan nila kainin.
Yeah, for sure. It's part of the experience.
Actually, perfect. Kasi one of the best dishes, actually nagawa ko rin siya this quarantine. Nakagawa na ako ng tempura ng maayos.
Nice.
Nice. I was able to achieve the restaurant quality tempura that's being served at home. Nagawa ko siya at home. And it was the first time na na-achieve yun after 7-8 years of learning, constant learning, trial and error. Kasi I guess big thing din kasi naturo sa amin siya sa school. Tapos I was able to execute it na. Like, nung tinuro, when I was notified na parang, okay, tempura day tayo at school, I was like locked in. Na parang, okay, I wanna learn this. Finally, ituturo na sa akin kung paano ito gawin. Tapos, come quarantine, my mom was like, anak, I'm craving for tempura. Do you think you can do it na? I was like, okay.
Let's do it.
It's redemption time. You paid for my culinary school. I think it's my chance to prove na worth it yung binayaran mo. So, I was able to execute it properly. Then I think I prepared it with a side of soba, and then I cooked salmon alongside it. So it was a very redeeming moment.
Wow, that's good stuff. And it's okay, we can relate because here back home, when we first tried tempura, it wasn't also as perfect. Like yung shrimp namin, it would shrink. Hindi siya yung parang pataas, diba? Like, diba tempura would be pahaba, no? Ours would like shrink into like shrimp popcorn and all that.
It happens. Mm-hmm. It happens to the best of us.
For sure. So for you, like tempura is like the best and also the worst dish like you've done?
It's both. It was a very big milestone dish na na-achieve ko.
Yep. As they say, it comes in full circle. So, the very dish that you had a hard time at first, it's one of your signature dishes now. So, good stuff right there. Yep. I guess, now that we're done talking about the dishes and all that, who are some of your favorite chefs growing up? I'm sure being a chef or pursuing cooking was not an independent, it was an independent thing, but I'm sure you had a lot of influence from popular personalities and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
So for you, like, who are some of your favorite chefs growing up? They can be, you can personally know them or you can see them on TV. Let's list them down. Like, let's give them their credit over here.
Okay. At first, I was a baker. I was more on the sweet side of things. So, I'm not sure if you're familiar, pero Buddy Valastro, he's a Italian baker. He's a celebrity baker then. He runs the show Cake Boss.
Yeah.
Tapos I remember binging episodes lang of like the things he would make. Then with that, I saw how passionate he was with the things he was doing. And then when it comes to savory chefs, or the ones who are focused on savory cooking, syempre Gordon Ramsay's in
of course.
Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver, sino ba? Marco Pierre White, mga culinary greats talaga. Uh, but Gordon Ramsay has honestly one of the best, bigger influences in my culinary career.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, nakakatakot siya. Nakakatakot siya when it comes to his toast. Pero it's reality eh. Like as much as I want,
Yeah.
it prepped me. It set my expectations as to what can happen to me in the future in professional
Mhm.
kitchens, especially
Mhm.
if I mess up. Honestly, parang niloloko ko pa nga sarili ko nun. Parang one of my biggest dreams in life is masigawan ni Gordon Ramsay eh. Parang hindi ako matatakot eh. Parang masa starstruck pa
It's
ako
a
na
badge of
parang
honor.
nangyayari na talaga to. Parang, and siguro ito, let's go local, no? Kasi I've been influenced by a lot of local chef personalities. JP Anglo, he's one of the owners of Sarsa.
Oh,
It's a
nice.
Filipino restaurant.
Yes, I've heard of it.
And
Yeah.
what's ang nakuha ko sa kanya is that what he usually does, he's a celebrity chef din kasi. And then what he does is he goes around the Philippines to a lot of provinces. He learns the culture, the indigenous people. He talks to them. He gets to know them. He cooks for them, and then he gets to learn the food, and then he brings it back all to Manila, and then puts his own twist on it. And that's one of the things that I want to do actually. Like I want to travel the Philippines, parang select hand pick some dishes that I taste there, and then I want to bring it back here to Manila. That's one of my biggest aspirations.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. That's good to have. And yeah, I like how you want to tie it all together and just give back to your community by incorporating dishes from
Like
other regions. That's
I
a
want
really
to bring
good.
out the Filipino. I want to bring out Filipino cuisine to the world. Like it's one of the most underrated cuisines now. Like when you go to to abroad, parang the US or to other like in Europe, you don't really see much Filipino restaurants there. And one of my bigger goals is to put it on the map talaga. And
Mhm.
it's gonna be a lot of work, pero
Yeah, yeah.
I wanna do it.
That's a good goal to have. You know, you gotta represent. You gotta bring that Pinoy pride to the world, but not the toxic Pinoy pride, but the real, but
We gotta honor the country.
the authentic Pinoy
That
pride. If you know
please,
what I'm saying.
no toxic pride.
Yep, yep. That's a good lineup right there. Whether it's local and international, of course, Gordon Ramsay he's the premier chef, and you don't want to mess with him. You really don't.
That's really Gordon Ramsay.
For me naman, like if I were to have a personal preference, um, you may call me crazy, guys, but these chefs, they may be unorthodox and they may not even be real, but these chefs really just elevated um some of the dishes that they made. So this chef over here, he hails from France. So I'm sure you're familiar with ratatouille, but I have to give props to Remy, Remy the rat.
Oh, that's that's my favorite film. That's my favorite film growing up. Na actually now that you mentioned it, it's nice no kasi parang that's actually one of the films that started my culinary fire.
Oh, really?
Growing up, I watched the film. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those films na whenever I feel lost or parang nawawalan ako ng gana with my culinary career, I watch the film.
Mm.
Parang I study everything again, and it just puts me back and on track na parang okay, it's fun, it's worth it. It's actually yun. Ganda. It's siguro mga 6-7 times ko na siyang napanood. Hindi talaga ako nagsasawa.
Yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, it just goes to show you guys, like if Remy or if a rat can make ratatouille, you can definitely make your own rice. So go lang, guys.
Definitely. And one of the quotes talaga is that anyone can cook. It's legit. It's legit. It's anyone can cook talaga.
Anton
Kasi sinabi
Ego.
yun ni Gusto sa film niya,
Yep.
exactly. Anyone can cook. So parang if it's in you, just start it. I mean, dati yun, nung nagkaka-doubts ako nung bata pa ako, nung narinig ko yung quote na yun, anyone can cook. Okay, sige, try natin yan. And here I am. Parang I've come a long way. So I gotta give props to the film.
Yes,
It's been a
definitely.
big help.
Definitely. And I'm sure you're also gonna equally love my second shout out. And again, fictional character ito, but this guy is revolutionary, so revolutionary that one of the main antagonists of the show wants to get the secret formula. So I have to give props to SpongeBob. Yep, I have to give props to SpongeBob. And I'm sorry for all my cartoon references, but just goes to show you that even in fictional settings, these guys can make better food than we do. Yep. Yep, SpongeBob. So
I mean, you can learn.
mhm.
I don't know, man. Why don't you try it out? I mean,
We'll see.
it's a skill. It's a useful skill to learn.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure the Krabby Patty, that's the staple burger, and it's such a legendary dish that Plankton will do anything and everything to get that formula from SpongeBob's boss, Mr. Krabs. Yep. There you guys go. I mean, they're not human beings. They're not even real life people. But the way they cook their food, whether it's
Influential.
very influential. Whether it's a luxurious ratatouille dish or whether it's your classic Krabby Patty, they know how to cook. You can't disrespect these two culinary legends.
Definitely. Parang actually, believe it or not, SpongeBob din. Okay, there's yun yung main focus. Yun yung main focus ng show. Kasi main focus ng show parang okay, sila Mr. Krabs and the whole Bikini Bottom. Pero whenever I actually see SpongeBob parang kapag may mga cooking scenes in the show, parang I would actually find myself as in nakatitig ako. When he flips burgers and it's super satisfying.
Yeah, definitely. And it's crazy how Squidward was not fond of the Krabby Patties at first, no? If you remember one of the episodes.
Bigla siyang kumain sa vault no.
Yeah, sobrang hater ni Squidward, no? But,
Bro. Tapos nung inalok naman ng Krabby Patty, kung makakain, wagas.
Definitely. So, yep. Hope you guys like my pop culture references right there. And now let's go back to your palate. So I'm sure as a chef, kailangan versatile yung so dapat versatile yung tasting mo. You can't be choosy when it comes to flavors because you're the chef. You need to be adaptable to certain cuisines, whether you like it or not, whether you're not a vegetarian, whether you don't really like eating meat. You have no choice. You have to be a master of your craft in every cuisine. So if you were to nitpick though, I'm sure you love every single dish or every single country or every single food each country brings. But I guess if you were to make a personal preference, what would be your favorite cuisine out of all? So if you have Chinese, Filipino, Italian, Indian, whatever, what are your favorite cuisines growing up?
Japanese, definitely.
Yeah.
Kasi my mom, she doesn't know how to cook. She doesn't know how to cook anything else but Japanese. So growing up, we were really exposed to it now. And it's nice. Japanese cuisine is one of my favorites because it's actually very simple. It's very simple but executed to Japanese standards. Na super precise, super ayos. And it's what makes it stand out. Yung standard and the simplicity na parang they honor their ingredients. Parang they don't do much to it. They let the ingredients show. They let the ingredients speak for themselves. Kaya siya favorite ko. And second, syempre, Filipino.
Yeah, of
Filipino food will
course.
never will never get out of my list. It's in the top three for sure. Um, and in Filipino, actually, believe it or not, I only learned how to cook a lot of Filipino dishes this year, last year to this year. Parang growing up, I would be able to execute like ribs. I would be able to execute like burgers and other more complicated stuff. Pero palutuin mo ako ng Filipino food nun, hindi ko kaya. Like sinigang, I didn't know how to do. That was just basically the principle of sinigang is you just put everything in a pot, let it boil until everything's cooked. Basically yun na yun eh.
Yeah.
Pero dati, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do that at all. Pero now, with the whole culinary school experience and with my whole business, I'm proud to say na I've expanded my skills when it comes to the nation's cuisine. So it's definitely one of my favorites, and it's something I want to improve on.
Yeah, definitely. So good lineup right there. You can't go wrong with Japanese, and you also can't go wrong with Filipino. I guess for me, yeah, those two would also stand out in my pecking order. And it's funny because I don't play favorites when it comes to food. I'll just eat whatever's on the table. Kasi, you know, super fan ako ng pagkain. Like, you can give me anything exotic, anything simple. Like I'll eat it any day of the week. And you know, my family knows
I
this.
should actually send some food to you pala, no? I should actually
Anytime.
send you some food.
Anytime, bro.
Kasi my connection with my sister, I can probably send you some food.
I'll pay you, you know. Yeah, definitely.
Sure. I mean, I can give it for free, man. No worries.
Wow.
I'm willing.
Yo, thanks, my dude. So yeah, to all my listeners, you know, this is the guy to go to if you guys want to try some new stuff. If you want to like expand your palate, this is the guy to go to because he will definitely deliver some extraordinary dishes that will just satisfy your cravings, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or even dessert. And we haven't even touched on dessert.
You know,
like, go lang.
Speaking of expanding palettes, that's actually one of my principles when it comes to my business. I make sure na my menu nako-cover niya parang may certain day for certain cuisines. Like I expose my clients to Chinese cuisine, to Filipino cuisine, to Thai cuisine, to Indian cuisine. As in, I make sure I allow my clients' palates to travel the world with my business. Na parang, ano ba, minsan, let's see here. Ito, for Monday next week, I have Filipino food. And then, for Tuesday, I have Mexican food. I have chicken fajitas. I have chili con carne lined up for them.
Wow.
So, tapos for Wednesday, I have Japanese. I have chicken katsu. I have beef gyudon. And then I juggle between Italian then. So I expose them to the other flavors of the world then. It's nice. It's one of the things I'm proud of. Kasi it's not everyone is open to new flavors. But then I'm glad naman na my clients are receiving them well. Na parang they're enjoying the flavors of other countries of the world.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, because of this whole quarantine, di tayo makakalabas, makatravel for a while. So I guess this is the closest thing you can have to traveling, you know, if anything.
Through food. Yeah, definitely.
So guys, are you feeling hungry yet? Like, that's a lot of food listed down.
Got a lot more to go to talk about.
Definitely. But yeah, we haven't touched on dessert. So like, what are some of your favorite desserts, you know, growing up?
Leche flan, for sure. Leche flan. Actually, that's one of my signature desserts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because growing up, I was like a fat kid. Like I was a super fat kid.
Can relate.
Tapos,
I was fat too.
The whole leche flan, I would eat it by myself. It was that, parang I would ask my parents to buy leche flan, tas ako lang uubos. And then, ano ba? And then, there was a point na I couldn't buy the leche flan I wanted. So I took things into my own hands. Then I developed my own recipe.
Yeah. Wow,
And
that's
then
interesting.
through trial and error na master ko siya. And I've heard a lot of people na nakatikim na ng leche flan ko. That it's the best leche flan they've ever tasted.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
it's a bold statement, pero the fact that a lot of people have said it, I think it's enough to back it up.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's crazy.
And then,
yeah.
cakes. I actually do a lot of cakes.
Oh,
I know how
nice.
to make cakes.
Nice.
Ano ba? Actually, a lot of desserts naman kasi. Kasi with the dessert world and the savory food world, it's very different.
It's a different skill, no?
Especially when it comes to the importance. Yeah, especially when it comes to the importance of recipes. Kasi with savory food, you can follow the recipe, but then you can adjust along the way, na parang to your own liking. But then when it comes to sweet cooking naman, the desserts, as in you have to follow the recipe to the exact gram.
Yes.
Kapag kamali ka, things will happen.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever tried baking at home, tapos even if you think you followed the recipe, tas mali yung pinagkalabasan, usually nagkakamali ka kasi parang linilista nila in grams. Kasi we were trained to use scales then actually.
Yeah.
Kasi with scales you have precision.
Yes,
so,
yes.
If you very precise, yun, sure kang maayos yung kalalabasan ng dessert mo.
Yeah, you're so right, dude. And it's funny because my mom pretty much mentioned the exact same thing. Na with cooking, you can adjust on the fly, but with baking, you have to follow every single step, like as precisely as possible. Because we actually made cake last week lang. We made no bake.
Oh, nice.
We tried making no bake Oreo cheesecake. Pero we noticed na the cake was so runny. It was very runny. Hindi siya solid. And it was like ice cream. And yun pala, it was because I think we used the wrong whipped cream or we didn't put it in the freezer for a long time. But yeah, like simple mistakes like that.
It's very technical.
For sure. But yeah, simple mistakes like that,
Parang,
they can make a difference pala.
Yeah, exactly. Parang, kasi with cooking, you can taste as you go You can taste as you go while you're perfecting it. Pero when it comes to baking, matitikman mo na lang siya pagluto na Like, you can't adjust habang ginagawa mo yung batter. You can't adjust habang ginagawa mo yung other elements of the dish. So, it's a totally different skill then.
For sure. Yo, that is.
What's your favorite dessert?
Like I said, I have a lot. It's gonna be tough to nitpick.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess yun nga, the Oreo cheesecake. Recently I'm into apple pie because I love the crust. Like the crust of the apple pie is so good. Like, never mind the apple bits, the cinnamon and the apple pie and the crust mismo.
Apple pie. That's something I always make for my family.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe I can send you a slice. You never know. Let's see.
For sure. I guess that apple pie, the cheesecake, of course, chocolate cake. You can't go wrong with chocolate. Like, I love chocolates. In general.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. Of course, you have cookies and cream. It's one of my favorite ice cream flavors.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm surprised not a lot of there are people who aren't fans of cookies and cream ice cream.
Oh, really?
It's weird. Like, what's not to like about it?
Yeah, right? Like, it's one of my favorite ice cream flavors.
Oreos.
No, because I was a huge fan of the Blizzard by Dairy Cream.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I guess that got me into.
I definitely missed.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I guess that pretty much covers everything. Like we we talked about pretty
Yeah.
much everything, like culinary wise, like from your journey to the chefs you look up to a lot of those dishes, which I'm sure magugustahan yung mga listeners ko. Like very good stuff right there. So I guess as a wrap up before we do close the show, like what's the game plan? I always ask this for every single guest, like in whatever niche or genre. But I guess for you, like in cooking, ano yung discard mo? Like, especially now because sobrang hirap ngayon to pursue anything basically because of this new normal. But what are your advice? What are your tips for those who want to either pursue cooking as a career or who just want to make dishes uh, now in this new normal? And I actually forgot to ask, pero mamaya na lang yun. But yeah, what's the game plan for those who want to aspire to become chefs in the future?
First of all, like I said before, no, you have to try. You have to try it. You have to do it. You have to do it lang talaga. Like, it's, yeah, kapag hilig mo, you'll think na parang, okay, should I do it? Should I not? But the only way to find out if it's for you is to do it. And especially now in the quarantine, kahit na you don't have to pursue it like professionally, like I plan to do it. Parang there's a lot of been new home cooks in this quarantine period. Kasi we're all at home and then ano ba? Siguro try and try and try lang. But I feel like you can't lose. There's nothing to lose now.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to food. And it's a great skill to learn. No? Yun. I guess. Tapos for those who are in a similar situation with me na medyo na-halt yung culinary careers nila because of the pandemic, kapit lang, I guess. I mean, kasi with the whole quarantine, with the whole COVID, the hospitality industry yung pinaka natamaan eh. The hospitality, the tourism. Kasi everything stopped.
Yeah.
So it's something we really have to wait out. Like, kasi I have one of the quotes nga I read na parang that na tumatak sa akin is chefs will cook again after all of this. Kasi it's a food industry. Everyone's gonna want food. So eventually we'll cook again. So parang go through it day by day na lang, I guess.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, I mean,
if you really want it, patient.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so yeah. I keep saying yeah, sorry about that, guys. A little bit lost, a little bit tongue-tied right now, but cooking is actually a good gauge of your independence. Like for those who want to feel independent in this quarantine, like go ahead, try cooking. And tama nga si Emilio, like for all those who aspire to be professionals, it's gonna be a lot tougher now with the whole pandemic. Like as you said, tourism took a hit, culinary took a hit, but it doesn't mean you should stop now because of that. Like if anything, this can be your chance to try to elevate and expand your palate, also improve on some habits that you may have formed back then. Para once makabalik na kayo ulit to your culinary station, whenever that may be, at least you'll come back better than ever, better habits, and definitely, more delicious recipes too, with the amount of time you're able to think.
Start a business. Start a food business.
For sure.
Actually, yun yung backbone ng culinary industry ngayon eh. It's more of deliveries eh. So, start it. Parang let people taste your food. Put your name out there and you'll never know.
Yeah, definitely.
Try and try lang.
Definitely, guys. Definitely. I was gonna ask a pahabol, but I guess the dishes that you listed out
go.
Can pretty much be suggestions. But I guess now, like, ang hirap eh, kasi Noche Buena is around the corner. And then, of course, New Year's Eve, you have Medianoche. So, the bottom line is, the next few weeks, once we get closer to Christmas, puro kainan yan. We're gonna have a lot of feasts pa rin. So, what are some recipes or what are some suggestions you you have for our audience who may have a hard time because supply is definitely limited. We can't have the majestic ham that we had that day, or maybe we could, but it's gonna be a lot harder now. We can't have the I don't know what are usually Christmas foods, yung lechon or galantina, whatever. So what are some go-to Noche Buena food recipes you can
For me,
suggest? Yeah, for you, for anyone, for anyone who may be struggling to buy
okay.
ingredients, or for those who want to expand their palate, whatever that means.
Huh. See, I'll just talk about the things that siguro I plan to cook. And parang ano ba? Kasi in our family naman, what usually happens is that everyone brings one dish or two, and then we just compile it to make a huge Noche Buena. And
So potluck kayo?
Parang ganun. Pero ako, since medyo may pressure ay parang medyo downside rin yun na parang my family knows na I went to culinary school. I'm an aspiring chef na parang okay, marami ka may ina-expect na pagkain coming from you. Parang we're expecting good food coming from you. And it's a challenge that I really like taking on. Kasi parang, actually, ako, the longest times I spent in a kitchen are actually around the holiday season. There was this one time, parang 7-8 hours ako sa kusina. Nagluluto lang na puro Noche Buena. Pero, sige, in terms of suggestions, you can actually go very simple. Na parang, if hindi ka pa masyado well-versed with your cooking skills, you can probably go very simple na make spaghetti, make lasagna.
Yeah.
Simple like that. Na mga to share. And desserts, actually. Dessert is always a necessary thing. And I feel like desserts mas madali, especially if you're starting pa lang. Kasi the recipes are handed out to you and it's more of like parang measuring stuff, mixing stuff lang, and then putting it in the oven. Ganun. Dessert, pastas. And then, usually, ang staple sa amin is that may isang malaking centerpiece of meat. But then that's very technical na rin.
Yeah.
Usually ako, last year, I made roast beef. I made roasted pork belly. Mga stuff like that. Mga ribs. Ganun yung mga hilig na family ko eh. So ganun talaga yung, like, kapag nag-request yung family ko, hindi naman ako tumatanggi.
Yeah, for sure. But you're so right. You can't go wrong with spaghetti. So, very child-friendly, lalo na yung mga kiddie spaghetti. And it's just very easy to make,
Those are the things you can start. Tapos, go to your family recipes. Kasi, for sure, every family, may family recipe yan. Parang nakatago somewhere. Tatanong mo, ano bang mga ilabas nyo lang yung family recipes nyo. Nakakatawa na yun for Noche Buena.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Noche Buena is a good time to help each other. With your mom, siguro, when it comes to Noche Buena prep, maybe you can help her around it. It's a good bonding. It's a good bonding set.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna be busy in the kitchen for sure this year. Yeah. I mean, those are very good suggestions. Those are very good pieces of advice in this very different and challenging holiday season. Like I said earlier, it doesn't mean 2020 came and ruined our plans na it can just steal Christmas away from us, Hindi siya parang si Grinch,
Hindi pwede.
But yeah, thank you very much, Emilio, for hopping onto the show. Once again, it's a very great experience. It was an honor interviewing not just you, but all three Dario Sibs, like this season. It was very fun, Like, of course, we had Gabby way early on. We had Diego last month. And of course, we had you. So that pretty much completes the the Dario trio right there.
Dario trio, yeah.
Yep, that's good stuff right there. But before I do call it a wrap, yun nga, this is your chance to post your plugs here. So where can my followers follow you? And of course, where can they where and how can they buy your recipes? This is your chance to link up or to
Hmm.
link us up to some of
Uh,
your recipes, your business, everything else in between. You name it. Let's go.
you guys can follow my IG page. It's Chrysologos.meals on Instagram. That's my diet page. That's my business page.
Mhm.
And if you want to tag along my culinary journey, the things I cook here at home, you can follow my food Instagram that I actually started during the quarantine. It's at DarioEats_PH.
Oh, nice, nice. I like that. Dario Eats. Definitely. We'll check it out.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Kaya pala I keep seeing Gabby stories of your dishes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So you guys heard it there. Crisologo Meals, right?
Chrysologos meals, yeah.
Yes, Crisologo's Meals and Dario Eats. So those are the accounts and those are the
Yes.
businesses that you guys should check out. I promise y'all, you will be treated to some good food and just it'll help you expand your palates. If you want to develop a new palate to wrap up the year and to head on to the new year, which is 2021. So yeah, check those out for your tasting pleasure, and hopefully you guys can subscribe long term because I promise you, Chef Emilio rather, he's gonna be serving you up some good food along the way. So yeah, those are the accounts to follow right there. As for me naman, you know the drill. For IG, if you want to follow my podcast account, it is at JOAT.pod.delro. So once again, it is at joke.pod.delro. For the personal account, it is at Jake_Delro. On Twitter, it is at _Del_Ro_. On Facebook, you got facebook.com/JOAT.pod.delro. So it's just like my IG. Or if you just want to search it on the search tab, it is JakeOfAllTradesWithDelRo. This podcast can be streamed, televised, viewed, and listened to on the following platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, Breaker, Facebook Live, and on YouTube. With that out of the way, that's a wrap, y'all. Thank you for tuning in today, mga Del Bros and Sisters. This has been your one and only Jake of All Trades. I am Delro, he is Chef Emilio Dario, and we are both signing out. Hanggang sa susunod na usapan
Thanks,
at
guys.
chikahan. See ya.